Arizona.
Oh, welcome. How are you?
Lisa Powers from Phoenix.
Hi, Lisa. How are you? Sandy Galilea Boucher and Heidi Harlow from Prescott, Arizona. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Judy Gensler, Sierra Vista.
Hi, Judy. How are you?
Doing great, Karen.
Good. Who else wants to say hello?
Hello. We will be back when we go home.
I hear you guys. Hold on. Hi, Carol. I heard you. I heard you. Hold on. I'm coming, everybody. Okay. All right, guys. I'm answering a couple of your questions before I even begin. My goodness, you've all been busy emailing. So welcome, 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 everyone. This is your weekly Sunrider call. I'm Dr. Karen Spencer Dees, and I'm going to host this evening. This is a call that's for you, about you. It's interactive, and it's a place where we can talk about the Sunrider products, how you're using them, the gains that you're having, questions. Hopefully, some of you who've got some experiences, testimonies, are willing to share so we can help each other. And those of you that have some questions, maybe we can get them answered or at least get them researched. So why don't I begin before I even start this call with, does anyone have any experiences, testimonies, questions they want to kind of get off their chest right off the bat?
Beulah Beard.
Well, hello, Beulah.
Hello.
Hello. I'm thinking you all have some thoughts because there have been over, my goodness, we have 72 emails just in the past 4 days of questions. So I'm thinking a lot of you have some thoughts. You're just hesitant to jump on in. I promise you guys, this is a safe place. All right, well, I'm going to start. We're going to talk tonight, whether it's about nutrition or about how the Sunrider foods fit into your daily lives. We pick a couple products, sometimes a theme, and we kind of run with that. A lot of times it's based on your emails, what you're curious about. It seems that there's usually a consensus of thoughts for that week. I do want to answer, I'm not sure who asked before. Lisa, I think I heard it with you while I was running into my office here, and I was on mute. I have no idea, but I'll check into why anyone would be charged anything. This is a free call. All I can tell you is over the years, I've used the service for years, that it's with their phone service. Sometimes if it's their cell phone versus a landline, T-Mobile versus Verizon, sometimes there are fees. So what I want everyone to find out for me, for whoever is being asked about 1 cent, is it their, that's not the norm. Is it their service? But I'll check into it from my side, okay?
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Anybody else? Now, I know we have a whole lot of weather patterns going on. For some of us, it's freezing, really cold. For others, it's very warm. So I want to just kind of jump in and say that no matter where you live, and I know we have sometimes multiple countries on, no matter where you are, what your weather pattern is, Sunrider fits into your life. For some of you that are on this call tonight, it's summer, right? For others, it's just about winter. So remember, everybody, that the Sunrider foods are going to help you where you are in your world at this moment, okay? In your health and in your environment. I want to remind you also that for anyone who wants to jump in and speak, you can click your mute button to mute yourself and then unmute it, or you can hit *6. And *6 will always mute you, and *6 will always unmute you, okay? And that will make it very easy for you. I am going to just start off. I know a lot of you are asking already. The Sunrider website has been a little slow today. So I have been checking on it right now, and even for myself. It's a little bit slow, and so it doesn't mean, guys, there's a problem. It just means that it's a little slow, and there's a lot of orders going in, okay? So just take a break. You can order again in an hour. Don't worry about it. Sunrider will always post for you if anything is back ordered. If anything is suddenly available, you will always see it, so you don't have to get nervous. They're not going to run out, and I know that's a lot of your questions. You get nervous. So I want to jump in and tag on to what we were talking a little bit about last week, and that has to do really with this time of year, and has to do a lot with a topic that has come up, my goodness, nonstop. And it really is a theme, and it carries through a lot of our products, and has to do with inflammation. And I want to start by saying that the reason that most of us who are on this call came to Sunrider has to do with either we had a need, a health need, or we wanted to have our health, right? We were in the frame of mind of prevention to have quality and better health long term. So however you came to this is a company that is about health. And whether we are wanting our homes to be healthier with our products that help to clean, right, or to disinfect, or we're looking for ways to nourish our bodies so that our bodies internally are healthier, or we're using the Sunrider skincare line so that externally your skin, which is your largest organ, is also healthy. It's all the same. We're all looking to improve upon our quality of health for ourselves, for those we care about, and to make a difference, right, in someone else's life. But first and foremost, I'm hoping that you'll take some inventory of yourself tonight and how you can improve upon it. Sunrider is unique in that they have a philosophy of what we call regeneration. And regeneration really means that you can make new again. I've always said it's a way to repair the body, renew it, and what we call regenerate it. And if for a lot of you, it's like turning back the clock when your skin was more supple and it looked like you were a teenager and it had elasticity. It's the same internally with your organs. It's the age and the quality of health of your being. And what Sunrider does is it gives you a concentrated amount of nutrition in a very high quality form that's easily digestible. Therefore, you can do something very simple, which is absorb it and then utilize it for either fuel or for recovery, and of course for regenerating cells and repairing them. And so when we look at Sunrider, especially someone like me, when I looked at Sunrider, and when I look at it still to this day, I'm always in awe. I'm in awe because it's the highest caliber and quality of living nutrition. That's very hard to do, and it's very hard to find. Think about how long it takes once you have picked something out of a garden for the nutrition or the potency of it to start to evaporate. How long does it take for that potency to start to dissipate? You have to eat it right away, or for those of you that like to juice, you have to drink it right away. You want the value of that nutrition to be at its highest point. What Sunrider has done is every single ingredient in there has been grown and picked at the peak of its perfection. And it's not just dried and ground up and then sent to you. It goes through a process that keeps those nutrients living or alive. And when you bite them or drink them or swallow them, you in a sense activate them. And one of the best examples I can give you is a product we call Vitadophilus. And it's a product I want to talk about as we begin to talk about inflammation. And this season, especially with what we know sugar does, right, to the body, it increases a lot of inflammation. But Vitadophilus, for all of you who took Latin like I did, vita, right, means living. So all the words you hear in Sunrider that start with vita, one should think it means alive. So Vitadophilus, living good bacteria. Vitadophilus is good bacteria that is coated with an apple pectin. And that apple pectin, think of it like a bubble around the good bacteria. It's keeping it encased so that it stays alive. That's why you don't have to refrigerate it. Most of you know when you try to buy, right, a probiotic, it's in the refrigerated section. You have to keep it refrigerated. Or if you buy yogurt, it goes in the refrigerator. Well, this bubble of apple pectin keeps it active and alive until you chew it. That's the beauty of Sunrider. I have yet to find another company that has a dry version of a probiotic that is this alive and living and works so fast. So what happens when you bite into your Vitadophilus, it tastes like apples. All of a sudden, it starts to activate itself, and it begins to work from the moment you put it in your mouth, down your throat, your esophagus, all the way, think about this, to the stomach, the small, the large intestine, all the way through the digestive system, the whole digestive tract. And so good bacteria, which not only builds the immune system, but it also helps to combat things like yeast, and inflammation, and viruses, starts all the way at the top and works all the way at the bottom. This is really important because most of the time when we take a probiotic, and a lot of you are very familiar with probiotics, right? We want to get good bacteria into our guts so our gut health is strong, so we can have what I like to call an army, right? An army of good bacteria fighting against the viruses and bacteria. But most do not begin in your mouth, and they don't make it all the way through to the bottom. It's important to understand this because that apple pectin is what carries it through. Most good bacteria begins to get destroyed, believe it or not, by the amount of acid you have. And some people have a lot of acid all the way up into their throat. And so you wonder a lot of times when people are swallowing a lot of probiotics, are they even making it through? Are they even doing anything? But I know with Vitadophilus, I know that protective bubble is helping to combat the acid while helping it to start move all the way through your upper and lower GI tract. You will notice when you start to eat it, all of you who've ever had canker sores, think about this for a minute. Canker sores, or you've noticed in your mouth, right? You end up with sore throats. You have a swollen, you know, because a lot of you have had yeast. You know that your tongue is uncomfortable. You might have a yellow coating or a white coating on your tongue. That's yeast, or that's that type of negative bacteria that you don't need the excess amount of. But that's all the way up into your mouth. And as Maureen had talked about at one point, your oral health. Think about the inflammation in the gums. This is just at the beginning. And so when we chew that Vitadophilus first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and we start to move that through our mouth, and it starts to work its way down, I promise you, it's starting to put good bacteria everywhere it's needed. And you will notice a reduction in inflammation. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. What I want to teach you with Sunrider is that it was designed to help build you, not just treat you. And so although, yes, you can use Vitadophilus, if I know, because I've raised all my kids on it, if anyone gets a bellyache, right, or you get a stomach ache, or someone's bloated, or someone has, forgive me, hemorrhoids, or an IBS, an irritable bowel, or a lot of yeast, whatever it may be, a lot of times you will say, oh, I'm eating a lot of Vitadophilus. My question is always the same. Are you making sure you're eating it even when you feel good, so that now you're building up and replacing all that good bacteria and having extra good bacteria in your body so you can be in a preventative mode? When we're in a preventative reactive mode, a lot of things we do not see, like inflammation, that's internal. At that time, the body can then use the nutrients, because it's not in crisis, to start rebuilding some of the old things that we have going on. Vitadophilus is one of those wonderful products for this. So I want you to remember, yes, you can use it for anything when you have a bellyache, or you have yeast, or you have irritable bowel, or whatever it may be. But I want you to think of it in a bigger way. Vitadophilus is really a foundational product that helps to restore the good flora, that good gut bacteria that keeps you healthy. Because if you're overrun by bacteria that's not good bacteria, you get sick, right? You end up with things like E. coli, or you start to notice that you have bacterial infections, or a lot of you who've had a lot of infections over the years, sinus infections, bacterial infections, GI infections. Guys, I want you to know, every time you use an antibiotic, which is fine, right? Sometimes we need it. You have to replace that good bacteria for a good 30 days to rebuild what was lost. Because antibiotics, not only do they have to kill the bad bacteria that got you sick, but also the good, which is why a lot of times when you're on an antibiotic, you will get a yeast infection or thrush in your mouth, or your bottom starts to itch and burn. You'll have an outbreak of candida. So it's very important to remember that this isn't just candy, even though it tastes good, or to be used just here or there whenever you think of it, but something daily to start your day with. For those of you that know you already have a history of a lot of the things I just talked about, eat it before bed also. There's no limit to how much Vitadophilus you can eat. You can eat it before a meal to help digest that meal, if you know you get gassy and bloated from it, or your child does. You can also eat it after a meal. But I want you to also begin your day and end your day with restoring and replacing that good bacteria. That will cut down on the inflammation. And guys, inflammation is really the root of disease. So inflammation comes from a lot of reasons, but one of the big reasons, especially at this time of year for a lot of us, is we eat an excess of sugar. And even if your intention is not to, it's still seasonal, and it's still a lot for a lot of you what happens. And you eat, even if, I've said this before, even if it's organic, even if it's healthy, it's an excess amount. It's not a moderation. It's an excess amount. And you notice, ooh, I don't feel as great. Even though it's important that you can use VitaTaste every day and cut down on the amount of sugar that you're consuming, I just want you to remember how important it is, though, that it does encourage an inflammatory response. So you will notice that you feel more swollen, that you are more headachy, that you are stiff and sore, and that's a sugar response. So one of the secondary products that's really wonderful at helping to reduce inflammation, which can be a culprit for everyone all through the year, but for a lot of you who wake up every day and really hurt, or seasonally who do eat a lot of sugar, I want you to think about something. Cali. And although I've been getting a lot of emails about inflammation and about a lot of products on the market, I want to remind you of Cali. And Cali is a beverage. It looks like it's in a tea bag. It's really a type of a cheesecloth that allows the herbs, right, the active ingredients to filter through it into your warm water. But Cali is a product that helps the body do something pretty magical. It supports the body's natural ability to flush. It's not a diuretic. It's not a laxative. It doesn't pull out water at all. We have organs in our body, right, that their entire goal is to help filter and remove toxins so that your inflammation is not as bad. So you don't say, my joints hurt, or my gosh, my head is killing me, or my sinuses are so swollen, or I have an abundance of yeast, right? Or my joints hurt. What Cali does is it allows the body to filter out toxicity more effectively. So when you drink it, and I hope you'll drink it every single day, two things happen. One is it's full of antioxidants. So it boosts your body's resistance and its immune system. But two, by doing this, it allows for the kidneys, the liver, the gallbladder, think about this for a minute, even your spleen, to start removing excess toxins that are floating around your body causing havoc, which is why you urinate more when you drink it. And when you drink Cali, I want you to think about all of the research, and there's a lot of research out there on tea leaves and green teas and on black teas and on white teas and on teas that have shown to reduce everything from tumors to cells that were unhealthy, that it boosted them with antioxidants and they started to repair themselves. There's a lot of research on what correct tea leaves can do or correct herbs can do. The main ingredient is what we call Camellia sinensis. And if you Google it, you will see there is tons of research out there by wonderful organizations that are really showing all the years that have put into this on what this Camellia sinensis can do. But the biggest thing it does, guys, is it reduces inflammation. And so I want you to think about your finger. Forgive me, but if I stuck your finger in the door and slammed the door, what would that feel like? You'd scream, ow, right? It would start to swell and hurt and throb. Think of what inflammation feels like. That's what's happening in your body. And so it's what you cannot see. And the more inflamed you are, the bigger the struggle is going to be with your health. But the reality of this is this will reduce the inflammation and help the body repair while it cleanses out all of this excess toxicity. And this can come whether it's metal in your mouth, right? Everyone's got a theory. Whether it's years of antibiotic use. For a lot of you, it's just medications you have to take, but it's the residue of them. For a lot of my patients, they've been on the birth control pill for years and years and years, and the residue lives in their system, and they are inflamed and are having trouble with fertility. Cali is phenomenal at getting rid of what we don't need and boosting what we do. So we've got Vitadophilus to put that good bacteria back in. We've got Cali to get rid of all that toxicity. Both are going to reduce inflammation. And then the third, which I think is equally as important when we're looking at inflammatory responses, is the second beverage we've got, which is the Fortune Delight, which goes hand in hand with your Cali. And although we've looked at Fortune Delight, right, for many reasons, from hydration and activity and athletic performance, I want you to look at it also from an inflammatory factor, which is if your body hurts and you have a lot of lactic acid and you cramp a lot and you swell a lot, and you know that you can see, I've looked at patients for years, ankles that are very swollen, right? You can see when someone feels swollen, when the cheeks are swollen, when you just feel like it's hard to walk. For a lot of you, at the end of December, come January, you are begging for anything that will help you feel better. Well, we're noticing that right after Thanksgiving here, that the abundance, how fast everyone's not feeling well, was very quick. So I want you to think about Fortune Delight as getting rid of that lactic acid in the body, in those muscles, and helping reduce inflammation in your muscle. Now we've got reduction. Think about this. We're reducing swelling. We're putting the good bacteria back in, which is equally as important. And then the fourth, and then I'm going to take some questions and some comments on this. And I think this is one of my favorite products, to be quite honest with you. That's New Plus. And I know a lot of you don't think of it when you're thinking of inflammation. But a lot of times inflammation comes because we don't have the right nutrients and nutrition in our bodies. And we've gone years. And for a lot of you, this isn't accurate for you. But for a lot of you new people, it is. You've gone a long time, either on diets where you've eliminated major food groups, or you have had ill health, or you just feel that you wake up and you skip meals, you don't eat right, or you eat in the middle of the night instead of, when you need to eat, and your schedule's off. What happens is what we call malnourishment. I know that sounds funny. For a lot of you, it looks like overeating, but overeating doesn't mean you're getting nourished. It just means you're getting full. No different than undereating. So I always say you can overeat and still be starving. What happens when we don't take in enough of the right nutrition, and I mean complete balanced nutrition, we get inflamed. It's a response. I always say it's a reaction. And it comes sometimes where you notice in the abdominal part of your body, right? Think of your stomach. Why am I always so bloated? Why can't I get my stomach down? Why do I feel like I'm puffy? A lot of people I know will use that term. I feel puffy all the time. One of the biggest is you notice it around your eyes. You're always puffy, right? Think about just the visual effect of that. What New Plus does is New Plus has combined the perfect blend of protein, fats, complex carbohydrate together without the calories. So it's literally like an infusion of nutrition of the perfect food that goes directly, it's pre-digested, it goes directly into your bloodstream, into your cells, and starts the repair. Not only does it repair, but I want you to hear me on this, it also replenishes with the nutrition. So everything that you lacked, it will replace. You don't have to know which vitamin was it, which mineral was it. All you know is all of a sudden, you feel better. For a lot of you, you notice a little too late in the game, right? Oh my goodness, my nails are breaking, they won't stop breaking. My hair is falling out all the time. You notice things that happen at the end, but you don't realize that you probably have been malnourished for a while. New Plus is something that you don't have to worry about how much you eat. I always say, eat until you're full. You can eat New Plus 6 times a day. I raised my children. They were little, 6 months old with New Plus. New Plus is the perfect food to replace everything that we are deficient in without us having to be doctors to know what you're deficient in. And it works for every single person. The key is that you eat enough of it. Not just wake up in the morning, eat it, and then go about your day till the end. For some of you, you eat it before bed, and it's the first and only thing that's allowed you a good night's sleep. For a lot of you, you're busy all day long. Even those of you that are drinking coffee, whatever it may be, I am telling you, I'm not going to talk to you about what robs you of nutrients. I'm just going to tell you to replace them. New Plus is that magic. It's magic. It's foundational. It works every time, all the time, and it won't put weight on you. It will not put weight on you. It will help. I always say it's like a Band-Aid, but it's better than a Band-Aid. It will fix whatever you're deficient in every time. But it gives you the building blocks, guys. Here's the key. If you eat enough of it, you now have the building blocks, not just to survive, but now you get to actually live. And you'll notice, each and every one of you, whether you're 80 or you're 10, it doesn't matter. You will feel better. Your future is different. The next day is different. So the question for a lot of you that came up was, doesn't New Plus have soy in it? And that's why you weren't eating it. So I want to share with you that Some New Plus has tofu in it. It's not isolated soy protein in it. It's whole tofu in it, which is a wonderful protein. But the New Plus regular has no soy. So there's no reason for you not to eat it. And the Simply Herbs has no fruit. So for those of you that don't want any fruit, you can have that one. So the New Plus regular has no fruit and no soy. The Simply Herbs has no fruit, and all the rest have some version of a whole fruit, whether it's an apple or banana or berry, but no sugar in it. This is important when we're talking inflammation.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you, but the Vita Shake, what's the difference?
So Vita Shake is like New Plus in that it came after New Plus, all right? But it was more of
I remember.
Yep, so the only real difference is that Vita Shake is a little bit enhanced, where it's got extra fiber in it. It's got a little bit extra probiotic like Vitadophilus in it, a little extra vitamin like a Metabalance 44 in it, and a little bit more protein.
I love Metabalance 44. You know, when I was pregnant, sorry, I didn't mean to derail your conversation, but you know, some key pieces, you know, with different things. When I was pregnant, I ended up using Metabalance 44, and I asked my doctor, can I use this instead of a prenatal? And he's like, wow. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I know, right? But I was kind of, I know Vita Shake is kind of like throw it in your purse and, you know, kind of to go, you know what I mean? Anyway, so go on, I'm sorry.
You're fine, sweetie. So Vita Shake, just like New Plus, is in packets. Because there is the tofu in the Vita Shake, a lot of times, some of you will go back to New Plus. Either way, whether it's Vita Shake or New Plus, they're both great. Everybody needs to be eating them, but the situation is you're not eating enough to make a difference. And so a lot of you has been emailing for weeks about inflammation. And what I'm wanting you to look at is not just treating it, but getting healthy, eating enough of the right nutrition to be better, right? So New Plus or Vita Shake is an easy way to get a lot of nutrition with at least a small amount of calorie, and to allow the body to have enough nutrition to repair itself, to reduce all that inflammation. And then absolutely, from the perspective, right, of allowing our organs to filter out and flush out whatever toxicity we don't need, while boosting us with antioxidants, you drink your Fortune and your Cali. And then you've got to get Vitadophilus in, not just treatment when you don't feel good, but aside from that, morning, I believe morning and night. But I want to remind you, empty stomach is better for a probiotic because it gets lower into the gut because there's no food that went with it. And for all of you who are now texting me, asking, can you put your Vitadophilus in with your smoothie, etc., I wanted to share with you, yes, absolutely you can. But I do think it's more effective for those of you that have inflammation in your mouth, and a lot of you do. There's a lot of cold sores going on here. I know you're texting me right now, and a lot of yeast. Chew it in your mouth. Don't put in your smoothie. All right, I do want to end here, and then I'm going to open it up here with what you were talking about. I am, and most of you who know me know this, I scream for Metabalance 44. I use it as prenatals. I think it's the best multi/mineral on the planet. It is, guys, it is the best for everybody. You can take it once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. It's the right amount of micro and macronutrients in the right proportion with each other to make the next vitamin or mineral active and effective. You can overdo just because there's a big number, next to a vitamin, and you say, "Oh, I'm taking 1,000 of this, or I'm taking 2,000 of that." Doesn't mean you absorb it, or it doesn't mean that your body knows what to do with it. Meta Balance took Dr. Chen 10 years to put together. 10 years. It's the right amount of each ingredient to make the other one effective.
Yeah, that's
It's brilliant.
The beauty about Sunrider. That's the beauty about Sunrider. And I'll tell you what, the only thing that's right above Meta Balance for is Pointer.
I know. I'm with you, hon.
Yeah.
I stand right. I stand right next to you, right next to you. And I know, like, every single product has something magical about it. I just want you to remember. Yeah, get your foundation right, guys.
I know.
Get your foundation right.
Can we address? I know a lot of my female friends are doing the lupus. A lot of us have inflammation issues, so I'm glad you hit on that. I don't mean to interrupt this conversation. I feel kind of rude, but vitamin D deficiency is really basically destroyed me.
So, are you using Sunrider's new vitamin D3?
No.
You should just go ahead and order it. And they have vitamin D3 1000, vitamin D3 5000. During COVID time, 5000 is better. So, but vitamin D3, this isn't even a question mark. We know that inflammation is definitely compounded if your vitamin D level is low. There's no question about it. And your bones are more porous. Your depression is up and energy low.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely destroyed me.
Get on the 5000.
Okay, and it's actually like because a lot of the problems with vitamin D is it's not assimilated. If you get the garbage off the shelves,
I know. And I will tell you that if your D3 is low, just get on the 5000. And I want you to trust your own bodies, guys. I want you to really, all of you know when you react to something positively, or when you react to something you say, this isn't for me, okay? So I'm not going to put down anyone else's D3. I'm just telling you that I am a firm believer in the quality of Sunrider, and I encourage you, to use it. Absolutely. And
Sunrider has never lied. My cells in my body wake up and tell me the truth. So there you
go. There you go. Yeah. Trust your bodies. You know when you feel good, and you know when you don't.
Yeah.
But as I will also just share with you, I just want to kind of end this, and then you guys can all jump in with your questions. For a lot of you, and Nina, this is for you, just so you hear this. You all know that I tripped over my yoga mat on my big moment. Right, because I have those kind of stories that I tripped over the yoga mat with the laundry while the kids were in remote learning and had to go directly in for x-rays, not knowing I had really hurt myself. And all I could think of, for me who suffered, right, so young, oh my goodness, I was 16 when I had endometriosis to the rest of my life. So I know what porous bones are like. All I could think of was, oh, please, I've worked really hard all these years. I don't want to have a fracture if I don't have to, because my shoulder hurt, my ribs hurt. I think I was the only person, with all the pain I had from the fall and all the humor that the kids felt that I deserved from tripping over the yoga mat, was that I did not fracture anything. And I am someone that believes very strongly that although I have had osteoporosis since I was a kid because of so much surgery, just the way it is, that my bones have absolutely done me well. And I have used Sunrider's calcium and D3 and Vitadophilus and Nuplus and Quinery, and I was grateful beyond that even at this age that I'm still strong and that my body's still, right? Those bones are holding on. So I encourage all of you, trust your own bodies, your own journeys. Just don't minimize how much nutrition it may take to get you where you need to go, all right? Especially when it comes to your past, where you are now, but also with inflammation. and trust. Drs. Chen, they're both doctors. Their sons are doctors. This is important to recognize. They're not going to put your lives in jeopardy. I trust that, and I have a PhD too, a couple. So, questions. Where are we at with a concept of inflammation? I'm not keeping you away from eating pie. I'm just encouraging you to understand what inflammation comes from. Okay, questions, thoughts?
I just wanted to mention that the New Plus Original is the one that has no soy in it, and all the rest of them do have the soy, the whole soybean, fermented soy. So it's the New Plus Original in the orange package.
Correct.
You mentioned it was New Plus something else, and
I think I called it regular.
Yeah, it's the New Plus Original.
It's original.
It's in an orange package.
And that is the one,
website,
that's important.
Yeah, on the website, they have, when you go and you look at the product fact sheet, it is incorrect. It's a technical, they have the New Plus, the one that you mentioned, Dr. Dees, and it says that it has soy in it. That product fact sheet is incorrect. So it's causing a lot of confusion, and they are aware of it. So just as long as you know that it's called a New Plus Original, that is the one that does not have the soy.
Guys, that's important. And for all of you who don't want soy, there's no reason not to eat New Plus. There it is. And that's the one that and also, this is a question that comes up, and I love when you share little tidbits like that. Thank you. Because my father was ordering it. I was helping him place an order the other night. And a lot of you like the 10 packs. The New Plus Original, everyone can look and check, is the only one, it only comes in a box of 60.
Yeah.
Okay? So that question has come up many times. And really, guys, I always feel this. The bigger sizes are the better value, so it's great, but that one does not come in a 10-pack. There's also and I want to reiterate, there's no fruit in that one, and there's no soy in that one.
That's the formula, I believe, that Dr. Chen's grandfather got him well on. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing?
Well, and here, I don't mean to interrupt it again.
Go for it.
I do. I'm terrible at interrupting. I'm a Jedi. Well, so there's a lot of misinformation about soy. For one, like you said, it's not isolated soy protein, which you definitely need to be concerned about. For one, it comes from GMOs. Sunrider does not have that. That's how come the costs are a little bit whatever. People think it's high because it's quality. It's quality, and it's not GMO, and it's not isolated soy protein that people are freaked out about. Is very different than soybeans. Okay, I just want to put that in there. There's a lot of misinformation about it.
There is, and I know a lot of you have very strong personal feelings about it. The good news is that there's a product here for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
So
know what the source of the vitamin D3 is yet, because I've not gotten an answer. I've asked Billy Steiner at the U.S. office.
Yes, so that answer is coming. I got an email that they will absolutely, I think they're going to do another call on it, and they will talk about that. So he has not released that to me either.
Awesome. Thank you for the heads up.
Yes, I promise you guys, if I hear something, I'll tell you.
I just want to make a comment.
Sure.
I just want to say that I find that Sunrider works the best when you create the environment in your body for it to do its magic. Preferably a plant-based diet, or at least the 80-20 rule, 80% fruits and vegetables and 20% grass-fed if you have to have meat. But it works better when you do a plant-based diet.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I, as field, I will share with you that I'm always, in awe of how all of you really have done so much research and are so educated on this and can bring to the table here so many perspectives and ideas. And I appreciate each one of you sharing. Would anyone else like to or have a question?
Yeah, the vegetarian comment, I think that's where the isolated soy protein issue came into play. I can pretty much almost promise that Senator already knows that. They already factor that in. They're very intelligent, and they have done the research. They're not, just some GNC filler product, and they're the most incredible gift that I've ever found in my life, other than my dog, my son. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
They're pretty much cool. Okay.
Thank you. Guys, this was great. Would anyone like to add any other products that they're using that they feel have reduced some inflammation for them?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, this is Pamela. I wanted to say the new Quest for me is a really good product. I started using, and it has a packaging, the prebiotic one. And I am happy that you went over the Vitadoculus, because originally that was the first one that I used, and it just didn't seem like it was doing anything. I have a lot of inflammation in my body. I have a lot of deep candida. I will have flare-ups on the skin, on the outside, and you mentioned the tongue, and that happens a lot. So the Vitadoculus, I'm going to give it another try.
Good.
And try to take it more frequently. The vitamin D that was mentioned, I take the 1,000, but when I go online, I never see the 5,000 milligrams.
It's there.
It's there? Okay.
It wasn't there, but it's there now.
It's there. Okay. All right. So I'll check it out. And there's so much I want to try. And I've learned a lot today about MetaBalance 44. But Dr. Dees, I just wanted to ask you a personal question.
Sure.
How were you introduced to the Sunwriter as a doctor?
I was not introduced to Sunwriter as a doctor. I was introduced to Sunwriter when I was a student at the University of Massachusetts. I minored in Japanese, and I was a student at Sophia University in Tokyo for a year. And I had a flare-up of the endometriosis, and I went into the hospital, and 3 of the doctors that came in to see me, one was an MD, one was a nutritionist, one was an herbalist, and they introduced me to Sunwriter.
Wow. Okay.
And they told me when I came back to the United States, this would be a company that would help my body, and that it would help about rebuilding, and it was a Chinese company. And I looked it up. I went, back then it was the Yellow Pages. I had to look it up in the Yellow Pages.
Wow, what a cool story.
I did it all. I mean, I kind of walked the walk by myself. And to be quite honest, guys, just to give you humor, I did not like how the New Plus tasted. I was a student, and I thought it was gross, and who would ever eat this? And I called Sunwriter, and they put me in touch with Dr. Chen, and I asked him. He got on the phone. Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
And he said, you have to give it a chance, and don't worry about the flavor. I mean, he laughed. Don't worry about the flavor, and it's all about building your body, not about your taste buds. And
just give it a chance. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Not funny? So when you know what? That's how it happens.
I wanted to kind of throw in, 2 products that my mom has been senator for 30 years, so it's kind of been hit and miss with me in and out of my life, but I know it's like the right thing to do, you know what I mean? I don't don't need to be sold on it because I believe in it entirely. It's not about believing it. I know it, you know. And Sunbreeze. If anybody's suffering from anxiety, Sunbreeze is a good one to have in your purse. Fortune and Sunbreeze is a good one to have in your purse. You know what I mean? And just rub it behind your ears. Even if you're not doing great, you know, rub it on your lymph nodes. It's great. Sorry. Anyway.
That's a great tip. But that is a really good tip, especially with inflammation. When you notice, guys, and I'm going to finish here, but when you notice that you have swollen lymph nodes, that's obviously indicative that there's inflammation. And for a lot of you, you're noticing them behind your neck, under your ears, and right behind your head where you get maybe headaches or neck aches. You'll notice those little bumps. Those are lymph nodes. They're under your arms, they're in the groin areas. A lot of times I think you miss the little signs that say you have some inflammation. When you rub some Sunbreeze on there, it's wonderful to help the inflammatory response to start to reduce it. But especially high up, for all of you get them on your neck or under your arms, you'll notice that there's a lymphatic drainage. And because we have more lymphatic fluid, right, in our body, you've got to drain that. You don't want those lymph nodes to stay swollen. You want to allow them to decrease. But when you rub that Sunbreeze on those lymph nodes, you will notice they start to dissipate. The pain is better. The drainage.
It kind of ties into the inflammation, and this is the outer layer of helping. Once you do the vitadophilus and do the poly, and then the fortune, and then it's a trifecta. You know what I mean?
That's the right way to explain it. Well, guys, I hope it's been helpful tonight. Marlene, Donna, would one of you or both of you get on the phone and share what calls are coming up, please? If not, I'm going to make Mac.
You don't have to make me. I'm happy to. Hey, as far as tonight's calls, the Rising Star team call starts in about 4 minutes, and that's going to be a Zoom call as always. You can find the link on the Rising Stars team page on Facebook. And I don't believe there is a Sunrider call tonight, so that one should wrap it up.
Okay.
So 7 o'clock Eastern, Bob and Donna Garrett's call, Rising Stars 14, and you can go to the Rising Stars and check it there, or the telephone number. Does anyone need the telephone number?
It's a wonderful, inspirational call for those of you that want to share and build businesses with Sunrider. It's the Rising Stars page on Facebook. You can get the phone number, and you can get the Zoom link also. And that is 7 o'clock East Coast. Yes? Maureen? Yes.
Karen, it was wonderful today. Thank you so much. I've been a Sunrider for many years, and I learned new things today. So I appreciate you. And I do remember you when you told your story so many years ago. So
a long time ago. Now I have a son turning 21 on Saturday, so it was a long time ago. But thank you, hon.
Really long. At Robert Lovell's meeting, do you remember that?
I knew that's what you were talking about. Yes, I do. I remember that very well. It was a wonderful moment. Thank you.
You were a wonderful man, and you still are. And
you're very sweet. Thank you.
Love it.
Maureen, hon, are there any other calls, or is that all?
No, that's all.
All right. So, guys, get on the Rising Star page on Facebook, and you'll see the phone number and the Zoom link. For those of you that want to share, grow, be inspired, it's a wonderful call. I hope you'll get on. And for me, I say thank you for taking your time out tonight. I hope it was helpful. And let me know if I can do anything else. All right, guys. Good night.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.